Hi everyone. Oh, this is working out alright. Welcome to Christmas. What's happened to the Marty cam? I had it all zoomed in and lovely, and he's moved. Or I've moved the camera. Probably a bit of both. Or I just haven't saved the settings. Hi everyone, this isn't the start yet. We gotta see as much Marty as possible, right? Yeah, it's more likely that I didn't press apply in this window. You gotta press apply. Is this my first time using a computer? Apply. Has that worked? There we go. Oh, what's happened to the chat? What's going on with the chat? Chat box. Oh, yes, that's the box I tried to make bigger for the Q&A is still on underneath. There we go. I thought, oh no, I've broken the chat with my messing around with numbers last time. That didn't work, did it? Hello, welcome to Christmas time. I'm a bit big, aren't I, and high up. And you can see the chair that I'm actually sitting in. Doesn't really look like I'm sitting on the sofa, does it? I tried. Well, at first I thought, wouldn't it be lovely to just sit downstairs on my comfy sofa and just do all this from there? And then when I actually got to the realistic planning of that, oh, I would have to bring down the microphone and all the apparatus holding the microphone and the things the microphone is plugged into. It was mainly microphone worries. But yes, we're here now. Thank you, everyone. We are looking festive. This is... We've only got like 30 days to wear this stuff out. It's all been brought out of its suitcase. It's washed and ready. These things had better get worn. Marty is... Yeah, he's been surprisingly comfy and nice today. He hasn't been on a stream for a little bit, has he? So he's making up for it now. A lot of belly showing. A lot of dreaming and twitching and things. So hopefully he's having a good time. Hi everyone that's here, by the way. I know I haven't said hi to anyone in specific. To anyone in specific. To anyone specifically right now. Hi Monica, Bytor, Gemway, Steve, Keymaster, Chachki. I think that's everyone that I've seen so far. But yeah, not everything stays on my little chat window. I need to get the... Why don't you get the bigger chat window up then? Yeah, that's probably a good idea. So I was kind of ready ahead of time. I was doing this in between my editing of things. Patrons, probably not today because YouTube is slow. But tomorrow, Square in Circleville should be coming to you. But here we go. Let's have a look at some things. Oh, Marty's doing some more upside down. And you can see he used to have really, really prominent, like... What kind of cat is it? I can't remember the kind of cat anymore. He used to have really kind of prominent dots when he was a little kitten. And, you know, everything was all kind of... His pattern was all squashed together. Now he's kind of spread out. You can't see it as clearly. But there you go. That's he's not facing away from the camera, which is a big plus for the Marty cam. I think, like, I've tried to... Like, the green screen behind me is just a circle. It's not a great big green screen because there is no room in here for that. And I'm not behind a wall. Well, you've seen the videos before I started using this. So, like, I've tried to have, like, a circular cutout behind it, but it also means my arm's cut off in a circle and stuff. Who knows? Who knows what's best? Uh-oh. He's seen something. It's probably just a readjustment. Gemma, you've got Grand Austria Hotel. Yeah, there was a lot of stickering, wasn't there? I remember that. It's not quite as much as there was in... We were shocked when we opened Glenmore 2. And because I don't think the prototype had all of that, but in Glenmore 2, all of the resources, all of the bricks, all of the wood, everything had stickers for it. That was like, we probably could have got another module in if we hadn't done all of that first. But Marty, he's not like a cat I had before. Did not want, like, touching his belly was you want to play and you want to get bitten. Marty's kind of, it depends. If he's all on his back like that, he'll put up with a little bit, like kind of chest scratching. He'll put up with it for a little bit, and then he's into the playing and the biting. But my mum's got one of my mum's cats now. Is like really loves it. Like pretty much exclusively just loves being tickled on the belly. Oh, Monica, you got stickers for Feast for Odin. I haven't seen those. They sound cool. Well, for all the Vikings and things. I imagine, yeah, not for all of the... Maybe for all of the wood pieces. I feel like wood pieces look kind of woody anyway, don't they? Without the stickers. I mean, Glenmore 2 does look nice with all of that stuff. It's just a lot of things, isn't it? So, let's have a look, have a chat about games and things. Oh, so, first of all, do all of the YouTubey things. You know the score and stuff. If you'd like to help me keep making things, it's going to cut off my hand, isn't it, this circular thing? But patreon.com/slickerdrips would be a great visit. Help me make more things. Help me do this more and more often because, yeah, it would be nice to do this all the time, wouldn't it? I do this part-time and stuff still. But yes, your support is why all of this happens. And thanks to everyone that has signed up for Patreon and stayed a Patreon for another month. If you are a patron at the voter level or above, there is a vote that, unusually for me, is ready and should have started now. Have you had an email? I know there's some patrons in the chat. Hopefully you have had an email and the vote has gone live and everything. You can vote on what the games are going to be. We'll talk about them after the recap bit, but yeah, you get a sneak preview of what those things are going to be. We'll talk about the old things for now. You had Monarchy had a St. Bernard, used to rub on the tummy with your foot. Just full on stepping. Yeah, Marty, yeah, a few seconds of light belly scratches sometimes. Like right now, like a lot of the time, Marty just doesn't want to be stroked in general. Like if you really try, he'll just go away. But when he's in the mood for it, he'll come up to you and he'll jump up on you. He's not a lap cat at all. He like lies. You have to like cradle him in your hand, and he lies on you like really high up on your chest, like in your face. He's strange. But hey, for the people that aren't here for cat talk, hey, why not? Let's have some cat talk. But if you are exclusively here for board games, it's never exclusively board games, is it? Yeah, smash that like button. Now there's the hidden dislike. I don't really understand why people are upset about the lack of a dislike. Or you can still dislike videos, but you can't see how many people have disliked it. I don't know. I've never used the information of likes versus dislikes for anything when clicking on a video. I suppose there's reasons. If like someone's helping you to do something and they're just wrong or lying, then it'd be cool. But in general, yeah, don't have that dislike button. I don't mind. So, I keep saying I'm going to talk about games. So November, yes, that was a month. There were videos in it. There were games in it. These are those videos. If you missed one, like, I can't do it right now live, but in the future, there will be a list in the description of the links to all of these videos, if any interest you. And hopefully some of these Kickstarter videos, their campaigns may still be running. I don't know about Age of Galaxy. So Age of Galaxy, it was a surprise. I filmed this a while ago. It's a 4X space game in a tiny, tiny box. I played through a solo mode for it that was kind of, it was new at the time. Hopefully it's all on the campaign page and stuff. You take control of a spacey civilization. There is, yeah, there's some kind of, it's more racing to stuff. There is some like brinksmanship and some conflict in the game, but in the solo mode, I don't mind that at all, do I? So you can see a full solo playthrough of Age of Galaxy. Then what did we have? Oh yeah, role player. I'll just bundle into one big entry. Rach and I have been playing through role player adventures. We started a brand new campaign for the live streams. We'd played, I think, 3 adventures before on our own. We started a brand new one in October. And yeah, we did adventures 3, 4, and 5 in November, so you can catch up with our escapades. Which, yeah, we were making some strange decisions. We're going off in a massively different direction than our trajectory was pointing in our first campaign that we started. And we only get to 3 in that though, so we're in new ground every stream. We're going to be doing that tomorrow actually, because yeah, Rach can't do it on Friday. So we're going to be trying one tomorrow night to continue with Adventure 6. Or we're thinking about maybe doing the side quest, because we haven't even looked at that yet. You can do the side quest at any time. So maybe we'll be continuing with that. But you can catch up with, yeah, Adventures 1 to 5 are now up on the channel. Once we've got Starfighters. This is on Kickstarter. I think this finishes in like the next few hours. This is on from Alley Cat Games on Kickstarter. This is a real-time kind of space combat game, like spaceship dogfights. Whereas, again, another thing that, well, it's not usually my thing. In solo, I don't mind that, though. This is kind of a hybrid of an overview, and then it goes into a solo playthrough. So you can see how the solo mode works and see how I get on with the panic of real-time gaming live. I've done other real-time games, but yeah, it tends to fall apart when I try and make these decisions live. Crossroads Inn is a game found, actually. I should say these right. Not a Kickstarter, where it's based on a video game that I haven't played, but I like the idea of running, the heroes are all out there doing their things. They're going to need food and drink and somewhere nice to stay. And in this thing, the best innkeeper, basically, gets to be the king. So we're all kind of illegitimate children of the king, and the king has died, so the best barkeep will be crowned the new king. So we all want that to happen, so we will try and have the best inn for it. Oh, Gemma, your cat's not a lap cat either. No, but my old cat was, like, massively so. But Marty has to be in the mood for it, which isn't very often. Oh, unless he's kind of creeping for food, then he's up for it. I've never had a dog. Even, like, I think my grandma had a dog, and has one now. But yeah, we've never had a dog. It's like, friends have got dogs and stuff that are lovely, but I still don't really know where I am with dogs. Like, with new dogs. Meeting a new dog. First Class is a train game. It's a quick, combo-ridden card game as well, from one of the designers of Russian Railroads. Fantastic train game. And he's designed many other train-related games. Some 18xx games, I think. Oh, Gemma, you've just played your first Age of Steam and an 18xx. Good timing. So yeah, this came out like 5 years ago at Essen. I think it's the first Essen. I don't know if it's the Essen that I went to, or did I just pick things up at? I think I went to that one, actually. The very first one that I went to. And picked this up in German, and it's just kind of one of those things that there's a million games coming along. It's got lost in the avalanche of new releases, but it got voted for and it got played through. And I will be doing... I've said in the comments that I'll be doing it at some point. I'm hoping for live next week to do a solo stream of it, which the solo gameplay is very similar. You just have more restrictions, but the gameplay element of it is the same thing. But yeah, First Class. Full 2-player playthrough for that with Little Glass Marty, as well as a full 2-player game of the enormous Weather Machine from Vital Lacerda, and graphics by Ian O'Toole, published by Eagle Gryphon Games. His latest kind of sprawling, heavy Euro crunchy goodness, where we are trying to fix the weather. Basically, we've made a weather machine to make the weather better for everyone, but every time we make it better, it makes it worse somewhere else in the world. And we're causing catastrophes. So we need to fix the weather once and for all, and we are going to be doing it in heavy Euro form. It's got kind of echoes, little elements of other Vital Lacerda games, but it's massively its own thing. It is a really fantastic one. It's still kind of crunchy and heavy-ish Euro, but nothing as heavy as On Mars or anything like that. I am a massive Vital Lacerda fan anyway, but I really, really loved it. And the prototype is pretty much like a production copy of the game, so yeah, it's not even like it's a prototype playthrough, really. Had to get sent away. Back to Paul Rogan and GridCon. Anyone who went to GridCon, hope you had a great time there. And hope you played a game of Weather Machine there. But you can see my 2-player playthrough of it up on the channel. Next button, are you going to work? There we go. Dice Kingdoms of Valeria. It's kind of a triple bill on Kickstarter of Valeria games, which you can back for any or all of them. There is Dice Kingdoms of Valeria, which is basically a roll and write version of Card Kingdoms of Valeria, where Valeria Card Kingdoms, where you are building up these citizens that have different abilities, and every turn we're going to roll 2 dice, and a citizen you've got of either of those numbers and the sum of those numbers will activate and generate you things. That's how it works in Card Kingdoms as well, but here we are moving up tracks whenever our citizens activate, and we're trying to fight monsters, we're trying to build roads, we're trying to recruit new citizens and try and get the most points out of it. And yeah, these are all different designers, but the same Valeria, lovely artwork by the Miko. I really like how it all fits in in this universe, as well as Siege of Valeria, a solo-only puzzly card game of kind of tower defense. We're not building towers and stuff, but we are in a tower, we're in a fortress, and the monsters with their hordes and siege engines are advancing on us every round, and we need to fight them. Every time you defeat an enemy, you get its card, which has an ability on you can use, and so it's full of combos of you playing cards that there are restrictions to who you can attack. So, you know, you can, something you wouldn't normally be able to target, you can play a card to let you do that. And oh, defeating that lets me instantly kill a card that's next to it. And oh yeah, it's full of combo goodness. And there's a campaign you can play as well. But the third game, there is Throne of Valeria, which is a trick-taking card game as well, which I didn't do a playthrough for because trick-taking doesn't tend to be our thing. But yeah, it's nothing against the game itself. So there is a triple bill of Valeria on Kickstarter as well. Oh, I'm missing things. I've only got Villages of Valeria, but you love it. I did a playthrough, I think, way back when for Villages of Valeria. I really like that too. I think Card Kingdoms might still be my favourite though. For those, like, there are not a lot of, like, considering I always call it like the Machikoro style game. I suppose because that's the first one that we played of that kind, where, you know, you roll dice, get something, buy more cards to try and make those numbers activate more. We've played more over the years, but yeah, Valeria Card Kingdoms still towers above them. There is one coming up. Was it in last month? I don't think it was in last month. Sorry, there's a new Machikoro-esque kind of game coming up in the vote that you might like to see if you like that kind of thing. Oh, Genway, your name's in the Weather Machine rulebook. Oh, nice. Oh, you playtested it. He commented that he liked to take into account observing people struggling, but like to make it like smoother for them. Oh yeah, you playtested 3 seasons. That should be coming up as well. At some point when the group pledge delivers of that, I'll be back. Oh, he verbally taught the game and you playtested through that. Oh, so like to test like how you would learn the rules just from him teaching it. Nice. Right, next up. So that was the Valeria. I think they're still on Kickstarter. Next up, Weather Machine again. So there is a solo mode of Weather Machine. Again, like with Kanban EV, designed by David Torcy, who has done, you know, a ton of great game designs in his own right, but also is a prolific solo mode designer. So as well as doing solo modes for his own games, does a lot for other people's games as well. Did a great solo mode for Kanban EV and has done one for Weather Machine as well. It's a bit of a different stream because I didn't have the prototype anymore, and the prototype didn't have any solo things in it. So this is on Tabletop Simulator, and I hadn't played it. I hadn't played the solo mode before I did the stream. So there's links in the description and stuff, so you can skip through. But it's like the first 20 minutes or something of me reading the rulebook and working out this stuff, and then we go for a solo playthrough of it. I think this, like, I've only done one game of it in this stream, but yeah, I think the solo mode works really well. I played the multiplayer game a lot of times in the, how long did I have it? Like a week and a half, 2 weeks. I played Weather Machine a lot to try and, you know, make the 2-player playthrough smooth and as accurate as possible. I'm sure there are subtitles and things in there. There always will be. But yeah, you can see the solo version in action there as well. In digital form, what else did we do? Last Will. I have been going on about Last Will for ages and ages, putting it in votes probably since the Kickstarter days. And finally, whether it's through keenness or pity, the Patreon voters voted for Last Will. And so I did a 2-player playthrough of it and its expansion, Getting Sacked, where it's kind of Euro-y go for broke, Brewster's Millions. Rich relative has died, will give his fortunes to the relative that can spend it the best. And so we are trying to spend all of our money. You can't have anything left over at the end. So you can buy property, but you've got to sell it before the end, which is going to give you money back, and you don't want money. And yeah, it's just kind of, you know, whimsical, a funny kind of theme, and it's done with that, like, the theme itself and CGE for a certain kind of CGE's game. They've got a nice sense of humor to them. It's designed by Vladimir Suchi, who has designed this Pulsar 2849, Shipyard, one of my favorites, but also more recently hit after hit from delicious games like Underwater City, Praga Caput Regni, and Messina 1347. This is one of his older ones now, so it's 10 years, I think, since Last Will came out. But yeah, I was really glad to show it off because I think it's brilliant. Then, oh, look at that. There's a Q&A that I did last week as well. You can see that. Oh, and also, if you would like, can I point to that? How does mirroring work? Look at that Space Marty shirt that you can just about see. SirMeeple.com. For all of your Slickerdrips merchandise needs. There are, I think, 3 different designs of shirts now, and there's a mug. I didn't make a cup of tea because it's fairly toasty in here. But look at the Rockets Away mug. I love it. It's so good. Tim from Sir Meeple comes up with, Rach drew the Marty, but Tim comes up with the designs of the things. And I really, really like them. Not just because they are Slickerdrips related things. So yes, that is it for November, I think. What's that? So there are all the videos that are made in November. And so now, every month, patrons get to vote on what I will do for December. Look at the things that people want to see the most and try to get them filmed first. Unless, extenuating circumstances like Concordia Solitaria is going to be coming up. Don't worry about that. I was missing this black dye that has now come in the post, so that is going to be the thing that I film on Friday. Is the next day I can film things. So I will be filming Concordia Solitaria to catch up with that. And we will see all of that stuff and catch up with various things. What was I going to say? Yeah, so patreon.com/slickerdrips if you would like to join in and have a vote and stuff, but mostly support all the videos happening. And the merch and stuff supports me in a little way as well. Mainly, it costs a lot to get things made, but after that, it does help out. Why are things beeping? Am I needed for things? I don't think so. Right. I didn't get that. Oh, Siri's talking. My Irish Siri thinks that I'm saying something, and now by saying the word Siri, she's definitely going to think I'm saying it. Right, let's talk about the vote then. Yeah, Rocket Marty and Glass Marty he's pretty much blinged out at this point. Like there's not been that many versions, I suppose. There was just standard Marty for a while, which I don't think we've done anything with for ages and ages. Then he was Sheriff Marty. And Sheriff Marty has made a return. He's on a shirt on SirMeeple.com. And then we had Space Marty for ages. And for the anniversary for a while, we had Posh Marty. But yeah, Space Marty. So the stars aligned for Space Marty. And for some reason, he just keeps coming back. Maybe we'll have more Martys at some point. But before we get into the vote, so check I've caught up. Oh yeah, there's a new game in that. I don't know if it's a strict series, but yeah, in the Roll and Rights from Matt Riddle. Yeah, you're becoming an influencer. You're playtesting everything. Joel, a lighter version of Hegemony. What? There is one. Oh, something I said sounds like a lighter version of Hegemony. Because I'm not fully up on what the gameplay of Hegemony is, because I was only talking about it conceptually with the developers or publisher way back when, so I haven't played it. I'm looking forward to the Concordia playthrough. It's going to be a goodie. Yeah, and it's you help Marty. Patreon support helps Marty get more blankets and more nice things. So why wouldn't you want to support on Patreon? It helps us get these snazzy Christmas backgrounds. Right, vote. I don't know how to signpost this now for my timestamp when I'm doing the description later. Don't choose the point where the Euthia picture came up. You talked for ages about other things after that. Now we're talking about the vote. So, Euthia is the first option for the December vote. Euthia is an enormous boxed game. It is downstairs. It is, I would say, bigger than Gloomhaven. It's that kind of chest-sized board game, but even taller. It is this game packed and packed and packed with things. It is a game of, like, at first I thought it was like a Mage Knight thing, and it is inspired in some ways by Mage Knight. Probably like the look of some of the, or you're just putting hex-based tiles down in the map. But the game is like, you are adventurers, you are heroes that are setting out, kind of not necessarily weak in the beginning, but under-equipped in the beginning, going out, killing monsters, making it available to go to these various places for trading and adventuring and mining and stuff. You are going out, equipping yourself with more and more stuff, fulfilling quests, and trying to achieve the goal of the scenario you're playing. Like Mage Knight, it comes with a load of different scenarios where the point of the game becomes different. It can just be the basic thing of, here is a random map, we're exploring it, we're trying to get the most points. But it can be, gear yourself up the best because there's going to be a great big fight. You're going to have to fight a load of skilled monsters at the end of the game, and you better be prepared for it because the person that manages to kill the most is going to win. So as well as that, it's also got, you can play loads of it competitive. There's semi-cooperative scenarios included. You can also play it solo with a couple of modifications, and you can play it co-op as well in a similar way. So far, I have played like three or four games solo with like a couple of the starting scenarios. I haven't even delved into loads of the scenarios yet. And I've played a co-op game with Rach. I love it. It is so good. It's a long game. That's the only thing. That's kind of what's been warding me off, like doing a live stream of it, because it's like, well, the live stream has to end at a certain point, and I want the game to have ended by then. And yeah, it's down to me a little bit being a slow player, but the game is a biggie as well. So yeah, would you like to see some adventuring, some leveling up, some epic exploration and fantasy combat in Euthia? The combat system, actually, in the competitive version, which I wouldn't want to play, but I think it's a really cool way of doing it. When you go and fight a monster, other players accumulate these control cards with their kind of player symbol on them, and they can kind of bid these cards to be the person who plays as the monster you're fighting against. And their goal is to use their enemy skill cards that players accumulate over the course of the game, play them to make the enemies fight most effectively, so that they try and kill you. Basically, they earn points if they controlled the monster that killed you. In the solo and co-op game, there's none of that, of course. Instead, there is a really cool AI system, because it's a dice-based game. There's combat in which uses dice a lot of the time. In the competitive game, it's just rolling dice. But with mitigation, there's plenty of tokens and abilities and things that let you change the dice. Sometimes you'll be against these elemental beings that will flip dice or make you give everyone plus values to their dice, so you have to take all of that stuff into account. But yeah, in the solo or co-op game, you have a deck that tells you what those die rolls are going to be, and then whether the monster is going to use reroll tokens, whether they're going to play all of these skill cards. It works really well. There's a lot that is going on in Euthia, so I'll leave the rest of it to the playthrough, but yeah, it's a biggie. Would you like to see some Euthia? Next up, Keyper at Sea. So Keyper, was it like 2018 Keyper came out at Essen? Was it 2017? It's a fantastic game. I already did a playthrough for the original game. The main thing that comes, so it's part of the Key series, Key Flower, Cathedral, Key stuff, Key Market, but it's the kind of key thing I remember anyway, it's been a few years since I've played it, is these crazy foldy boards. If you want to just look at the playthrough to get an idea, I don't know how they work, it's magic. But yeah, you kind of fold these boards to see which worker placement spots you want available on your thing, because you will generate resources based on which spaces are visible when you are finished. So Keyper at Sea was an expansion that I backed on Kickstarter that adds all sorts of stuff to the game that I haven't got around to yet, because there's a lot of games that need playing. But it has arrived, so it's new stuff. And I've put these as separate votes on the Patreon. Would you like to see the new stuff that's in Keyper at Sea in another 2-player playthrough, as well as the new expansion things. Keyper now has solo by our old friend we discussed earlier, David Turtsey. He has designed a solo mode for both the base game and a solo mode that works with the expansion. So would you like to see it solo? I've put in separate options there as well for, do you want to see the multiplayer game, or do you want to see the solo base game or the solo expansion? Like, I feel like I probably have to play the solo base game first, so we'll see how the votes go for that. But yeah, there's potentially a load of Keyper you can see if you would like to see it all. Oh, Last Will is a bit like a Germany because you're giving all of your money away. All right. Oh, yeah, Welcome to the Moon. It's fantastic. It's just come out, I think, in the UK. So hopefully, yeah, it will be arriving everywhere. It's so good. I think Mage Knight at the moment has it's like a 3.5-hour stream earlier in the year. Mage Knight probably got the record for longest stream. What's next? Magnate, another one that I covered. I think I just did an overview actually for the Kickstarter, and we did play a game actually with designer James at, I think it was before, yeah, it was before GridCon. I think we were just at Paul Grogan's house in Devon for the precursor to when GridCon was just at his house. But yeah, we played a game in its kind of prototype form. It's a game of city building, and you are like you're trying to make the most money and invest in the right things and all of that stuff, but the game has a kind of dynamic end where the market can be forced to crash and people that still own a load of property can lose out, so you want to get out at the right time. But as well as, like, I seem to remember as well, the prototype was very, very, very good. So, like, although this is the final version, the overview would still give you a good idea. But again, like a lot of things, the final version has a solo mode in it. Would you like to see how the solo mode works and how the final version looks? I would. Magnate. The Loop is a new co-op deck. I don't know what this was for. A new co-op deck builder from. I was trying to think of the designer. It's Maxime. Where's my browser? The Loop. It's from the designer of the Big Book of Madness and a new co-designer, Maxime Ramberg and Theo Riviere. The Big Book of Madness is a fantastic card game from about 5 years ago now. I'd like to play that through at some point. I should have put that in the vote. It's too late now. Maybe next time. If the Loop does well, we should take a look back at the Big Book of Madness. And then I can get an excuse to get the expansion, which I never got. But yes, Loop. It's a kind of time-traveling co-op deck building game, but a deck builder with quite a difference as well. The Dr. Foe, I believe is his name, has put his clones all through time, and we are going to be time-traveling around this board, trying to keep the world in existence. There's loads of ways that we can fail in this, but we are trying to play the right cards at the right time to get his clones off the board. But you will also play a mission that has its own separate requirements for you to be able to win. A ton of ways to increase the difficulty for each of those different scenarios. Yeah, we've only played one of those scenarios, and we almost succeeded. We went a little bit too... We were kind of brave. We thought we won't just go with the starting setup. We're seasoned gamers over here. And yeah, we put the difficulty up too much and we lost. But yeah, I really, really love this. And yeah, I want to do a playthrough for all of these things, really. But yeah, The Loop is a great co-op. Yeah, any solo made by Turtsey. If we could play Euthia remotely, maybe. We did it for Mage Knight, didn't we? It would be a huge thing. But I imagine so, in a similar way than we did Mage Knight. I would imagine that is possible, with one of us just controlling the decks and things. City of Crowns. It's kind of under a pile of things now, but it's in this room. New expansion for Paladins of the West Kingdom that I pre-ordered, along with a snazzy big empty box for Paladins of the West Kingdom, so it will all fit inside. It adds like a new type of citizen and things. It links in with the the co-op campaign. There are new rules to make it work with that. It works with the solo. In what form would you like to see City of Crowns played through? If you would like to see some more West Kingdom, and there will maybe be more West Kingdomy things coming up at some point in the future. Who knows? City of Crowns, would you like to see it? It's in the vote. You would have had an email, I think, on Patreon, or go on the Patreon, and it's the latest post on there. if you want to preempt what I'm going to say. Bad Company. This is the Machikoro style game I was mentioning earlier. So we are in charge of criminal gangs in like heist gangs, Ocean's 11s, basically. And we start off with basic abilities of all of our heisters, all of our criminals that we can recruit. We can upgrade them. We can make them generate more things at the end of the game, or we can spread out those upgrades and they'll be worth more points at the end of the game. We are trying to. There's an element of moving our car along this track to escape the police that are chasing us round by round. There's kind of majority for necklaces and things. It works really, really nicely, and it's like a 30-minute game. It's a really, really snappy one, and it's from a porter as well, who make pretty fantastic things. When I was just very itchy this stream, and as well, the picture doesn't necessarily tell you about what this is. Trails of Tucana was a fantastic roll and write, flip and fill kind of game from a porter and designer Eilif Svensson. Was it designed by Eilif and Christian, actually, before I declare that? But anyway, Eilif designed at the magnificent Avenue, still one of the best in the roll and write genre. Yes, it's co-designed by Eilif and Christian Amundsen Otsby. And Eilif designed Riverside this year as well. So Trails of Tucana was a fantastic one from 2020, wasn't it? So now it's got an expansion with 2 new kinds of sheets in it. New mechanics included in them. Yeah, 2019 Trails of Tucana was. You can see my original playthrough. You can play along, I think, my original playthrough. But would you like a new one showing you what's new in this this pad-based expansion? And then, is there more? Yes. Now, will a small game win the vote in the face of all of these other things? I would be surprised. But Qwixx is part of the family of fantastic roll and write games. Quinto is probably the best among the pure abstract ones, but Qwixx is a pretty fantastic one in its own right. Qwixx Longo is basically Qwixx with D8s instead of D6s. That's pretty much it. Not putting it down in that way. It works quite well. You've also got this lucky number mechanic. Whenever the dice that everyone can use every turn, if your lucky number, everyone's got 2 lucky numbers. If your lucky number comes up, you can fill in the next space along in any of the tracks, helping you to put more things down. And yeah, there's just a bigger range of numbers. You have to have there's 2 end spaces for any of the rows, but it can end all of since it's called Qwixx Longo. We were playing at the weekend, and our game was, I feel like it was shorter than a normal game of Qwixx would have been. Yes, and Eilif and Christian together have done the Magnificent. They've done Santa Maria. They've designed loads together with a porter. All fantastic stuff, and you can see my playthroughs for those things. They're lovely. And Eilif was like one of the people who the first lesson I went to. I mentioned when I bought First Class. Like that was like 2016. I'd been doing the channel for about 6 months at that point, but still like 500 subscribers or something at the most. Less than that, probably a couple of hundred. So I didn't go there as like, oh, I do a channel. It's just like I really, really wanted to go to Essen and had never been. And Eilif was one of the few people there that had like seen my videos and stuff, and was really nice. I always remember that, and has been nice since. But yeah, it was amazing that anyone had seen any of it, let alone someone who ran a company that was publishing a game that I wanted. They had Avenue there that year, I believe. My Farm Shop and Bad Company, Machikoro, and Machikoro got a sequel this year, right? Like I haven't gone for the sequel or legacy of Machikoro because I didn't really like Machikoro that much in the end. It didn't have much staying power for us, but I'm glad that that's still going on strong, and that type of game really is going out strong. And My Farm Shop was cool too. I didn't see the glory in it that some people have, but yeah, it was cool.
Really cool.
Okay, Siri liked that. But I think that is it for the options. I'm glad I didn't press the wrong button. Oh, something's going on. Okay, I'll look at that in a second. That's not urgent. It's buzzing. Phones are happening. Yeah, like she thinks she's being talked to a lot of the times. Apart from when she's actually being talked to, then she doesn't want to hear about it. So that is what's coming up. Can I find, have I got a Patreon window open? That's what's coming up for December, or, well, not all of those. There isn't enough time for that kind of thing. If you'd like to help more time exist for those kind of things, patreon.com/slickerdrips is where your support would be massively appreciated. It'd be appreciated in any of the places, but Patreon is where you can vote. In this early days, so I'm still streaming, and the poll has only been up while I've been streaming. At the moment, it is a Keyper. Keyper is winning that vote. Solo Keyper, actually. Not only one vote for Keyper at Sea 2 players. Keyper and Keyper at Sea solo modes are winning. You can choose which voice you would like. There are not a ton of options. Well, there are a surprising number of options. You could have, mine at the moment is Irish. You can have British, and you can have Australian. I can't remember what else. You can't have Scottish. But yeah, there's plenty of different options you can choose. So yes, make your voice heard. Say what you would like to see. Say what you see, and yeah, we'll get filming something from next week. See what jumps ahead in the poll. Practice it this weekend. Film it next week is the plan. Is the way things usually work out. Other things for December. So I mentioned there's going to be a first class stream. Hadrian's Wall. I've been hearing, you know, I wouldn't say like due to overwhelming demand, but yeah, the people that want to see more Hadrian's Wall, good on you for being vocal about it. Hadrian's Wall is returning on Friday. Role player we will carry on with, I hope, throughout December. I did last year some great like choose your own adventure streams. That's, well, I say great, like I really enjoyed them. Like kind of playing along a fighting fantasy. It's basically the book. There's a video game version of the book, but it's mainly like reading the book. I think we picked a bit of a bad one that had like a really weird maze that we got lost in for hours, but yeah, we will pick a better one and do some more choose your own adventure stuff. If you'd like to tune in for that around Christmas time, there'll be the top 10 of the year and stuff. It's going to be a great month. I hope. Why not? Rach is feeling a bit better now, but she is. I think that's because she's passed her cold on to me. It's as it's kind of easing off Rach, it's ramping up to me. So hopefully I won't get as ill as Rach got. Hopefully it will just be sniffles and stuff, which is what it is at the moment. It's just just a bit bunged up. But hopefully it's nothing worse than that. We've got tests. They're negative for now. Yeah, Rachel's was just a cold. So that's probably what I've got right, because it's not like I'm going anywhere else. We might not be able to very soon over here, the way things are going. But hey, mask up. Everyone has to mask up again now, so we'll stop looking like the weirdos now that the rules have changed back. But hey, board games are the thing, right? And they'll be very overly Christmassy videos, I imagine. Although maybe not, because I'm pretty like it's not warm in this room at the moment because it's freezing outside. But in this cardigan, it's pretty warm in here. So yes, we will be back tomorrow at 7, I believe, 7 GMT, for some role-player adventures with Rach, and we will see where our adventures take us. I'll be back on Friday for some Hadrian's Wall, and then at the weekend there is the pre-recorded playthrough for Iki. And yeah, on Patreon, Square in Circleville will be going up, and then I will be filming Concordia Solo, and the rest will follow at some point. There is a lot of stuff to be filmed. There is not enough time to film it in, but hey, we'll make do. I always like these recap things. I'm always thinking like, oh, is enough being made? It feels like I'm not doing anything. It feels like I'm not doing enough. And then whenever I like get the pictures and things together for the recap video, I see like, oh, there was loads this month actually. Like when you strip like each playthrough into how many hours it took to like film and play and edit and all of that stuff, and then the amount of time that you can see how long the live ones took, as well as like setting them up and learning them and all of that stuff. Actually, yeah, there's loads still. I don't know why it always feels like if something isn't happening every single day, for some reason I always kind of default to feeling like, oh, enough isn't happening, I need to be doing more. But at the same time feeling like I'm really tired. But hey, that's just a paradox of things. Oh yeah, booster. Rach was talking about boosters. I think we can book in for boosters now, so we'll be doing that at some point. Yeah, yeah, you'll be boosting everyone's Wi-Fi. You'll be getting really low latency for live streams now. Yeah, we'll be sorting that out at some point. Like I don't see the things about when these things change. Like I knew that boosters were coming, but apparently we can book in for them now. So yeah, why not? We'll get that done. So yes, we'll be back for more things Monday. I'll tell you all about what will be live streamed next week, but probably I imagine Role Player Adventures and the as requested the first class solo stream. And I'll be playing all of this stuff in the background, trying to learn it as best I can for some good playthrough action. Yeah, that's why all the I think like it's not all the rules, just the mask rules are changing in this country because yeah, they like to be last at everything. So like they will say there will never be another lockdown until the morning they say, oh, there's another lockdown now. So yeah, there's no point listening to what they say until action is actually taken. But yeah, it is concerning, and like we've just kept wearing masks everywhere just because like it's a habit. We've always got them in our pockets at this point, and yeah, in shops and stuff, just always wear them. Not that we go that many places, but yeah, maybe who knows what Christmas is going to be like because we were locked down, weren't we, this time last year? I think I think we were in lockdown 3 in the UK last Christmas, and then it opened up for one day for Christmas Day, and then they shouldn't have and stuff. Who knows? But yes, board game things, more stuff will be happening. More stuff's always happening, always playing, always learning, and yeah, hopefully you can be there for some of the live stuff and enjoy the pre-recorded stuff when it goes up, because it's good in it. Generally, even the games that I didn't enjoy as much as I hoped, hopefully the playthroughs are still a laugh. Square in Circleville one, I really enjoy there's a solo where you can include multiple bots that have got multiple personalities and stuff. Oh, it works really nicely. But yes, I'll be back tomorrow night. Hopefully you can join me and coach Rach and I, because actually we're at nighttime. We haven't had a nighttime stream for a while as well. Hopefully you can coach Rach and I through our decisions. And yeah, our group is not. Our adventurers, I don't think they're going to redeem themselves. Although maybe, like, we're not necessarily going the bad guy way. We're just not going the conventional way, the way the other characters would expect us to go. But yes, there will be more things. I will stop starting to say goodbye and then getting distracted and then forgetting. I will finish the stream and say goodbye now. Thank you very much for joining me for this. Thank you for everyone's support on Patreon. If you would like to sign up to Patreon, thank you very much for that as well. Maybe you're doing that in the future as I'm saying this now. Thank you very much for doing that. You enable me to be here doing all these things that I'm saying I'm going to do. That's why I'm able to be off even for a few days doing the things and cramming it all in. Thank you very much for being here. I will see you tomorrow or Friday or some point very, very soon. Bye, everyone. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, Marty. Say bye, Marty. He's not going to say bye. Bye. I'll say bye for him.